Hello and welcome once again to the Daytona YouTube channel. My name is Barry Ferreira and today we are delving in one of the vehicles that we have available here at Daytona, and specifically at Lotus Johannesburg. Sitting here beside me is the Lotus Eletre R Hyper SUV, and we are going to be having a look at all the different features about the car that you may not know, because it is a relatively new car that has been introduced globally. This is the first and only one in South Africa. So if you want to know more about the Eletre R, stay tuned because we're going to be going into all of the details. So what is the Eletre R? Well, it is Lotus's all-electric hyper SUV. Of course, Lotus going into an all-electric future, the Mira being the last internal combustion car that they will be creating, and this is the first of their all-new products that they have launched. It produces 900 horsepower, 905 to be exact, which is 675 kilowatts, and an unbelievable 985 Newton meters of torque, which means that it is actually the most powerful vehicle that we sell here at Daytona. That means it's good for a 0 to 100 time of 2.95 seconds, meaning it can skyrocket into the distance. Now we will be delving around all of the features around the car. It is quite a large vehicle, of course. It is a practical family SUV, but a lot of aerodynamics is what makes this car quite so impressive. It's got lots of porous design features, and what I mean by that is that there are lots of air vents and airflow that work together to essentially make sure the car is planted and slides through the air as efficiently as possible. In terms of the aerodynamics, at the front you've got the honeycomb grille, which actually opens and closes as and when the electric motor needs it for cooling, and is actually inspired by the lotus flower, which you may or may not know. Of course, this being a Lotus, it's nice to make that little connection with that. In addition to that, you've got the rear spoiler as well, producing 90 kilograms of downforce to make sure the car is planted as it can be, working together with the winglets that you can see at the back of the car as well. Alright, let's have a little chat about the technology of the Lotus Eletre. Of course, as I mentioned, this is an all-electric car, which means there's no engine. It makes solely use of batteries. Now, it makes use of an 800-volt architecture, meaning that it can do an AC charge of 22 kilowatts and a DC charge of 350 kilowatts, meaning that it has a claimed range by Lotus of approximately 600 kilometers. And because the charging capacity is so big, it means you can charge the car up to 80% in total in a very, very quick time. Of course, depending on the type of charger that you use. Another technological feature of the Eletre is the introduction of LiDAR. Now, you may be familiar with LiDAR on the use of other electric car manufacturers. However, this is the first time that Lotus has implemented it on the vehicle. Now, essentially what LiDAR is, should I rather say, it makes use of scanners and sensors around the car to create a sophisticated 3D map of a 200-meter radius of the car, essentially picking up and ensuring that any potential obstacles are highlighted to the driver. Picks up the likes of cars, people, even traffic cones, to make sure that you as the driver are aware of your surroundings, and should the car need to intervene and warn the driver for braking, for example. With that being said, this car is autonomous, although not all autonomy features are available here in South Africa. Welcome to the interior of the Lotus Eletre, and this is where it is a remarkable departure from any Lotus in the past. The interior of the Eletre is ultra luxurious. The materials that Lotus have used are tactile. It's real metal, real chrome switches here that you can feel, real leather, real Alcantara, and it's all very tactile and very, very pleasurable to be inside. But there's a lot to go through in terms of the interior of the Lotus Eletre, and I suppose we'll start with the fact that it is a practical family SUV. The boot space, with the seats folded up, is 688 litres. When the seats are folded down, that increases to 1,532 litres, with an additional 46 litres storage space at the front. It is a practical family SUV, meaning you can throw all the luggage that you want in the back with the three kids, three kids at the back, and the only 3 seats at the back. And you could take this car on a journey and not have to worry about it at all. In terms of driving modes, the driving mode switches can be either done here from the screen, which we will get into, this massive, very prominent screen that we have here in the center. But in terms of the driving modes, you can switch them here on the paddles. Even though they look like paddles, they're not used to change gears because, of course, this is an electric car. Now, over here you can change it up, and your driving modes are off-road, range, tour, sport, individual, and track. and this can all be changed. And as you can actually feel, the seats tighten up around you if you put it into track mode or sport mode, and it's very odd when you feel it for the initial first time. However, that is what this side of the paddles are used for. Then on the left side paddles, this is where you control the regenerative braking. Of course, you can choose how aggressive you'd like to set that. But in terms of the front here, you've got your speedometer, which increases speed at a rapid rate. You can be sure of that with your range, your battery status, and which mode you're in, of course. Let's move over to the screen of the Lotus Eletre, and here there is a multitude of features. Of course, it can act as your satellite navigation if you don't make use of Waze or Android Auto, although that is available, of course, here on the Lotus Eletre. You can use that navigation, but it also gives updates of the car. For example, if the right door is open as it is now, it will show it on the screen. If you put the indicator on, it will show the indicator on the screen. It's phenomenal technology. The screen is ultra responsive, no lag essentially whatsoever, and you can control features such as the electrochromatic roof. You can open the boot from here. It is really so many exciting features that you can actually do here. Of course, the rear wing as well, it's got two settings, essentially halfway up and then fully up, which you can change from the screen here as well. In addition to that, you can change the mood lighting that you like to have in the Eletre, and there's a wide variety of colors: greens, pinks, blues, yellows, anything you want, you can change from here as well. And then of course you have the LiDAR system, which I mentioned, where you can actually see the car picking up all the cars and the vehicles that it can pick up within its 200-meter radius. Another impressive feature of the interior of the Eletre is the KEF sound system. Now this is a 2160 watt sound system, making use of 23 speakers in and around the inside of the vehicle, and you can change which kind of audio settings you'd like here on the screen as well. You've got your spatial setting, you've got your stage setting as well, and then your source setting as well. So very customizable in terms of what you want your audio to sound like. Now I thought at the back of the Eletre to demonstrate just how large this car is. I'm not particularly tall, I'm 1.7 meters, but the legroom I have is substantial. Even the seat, which is not in my driving position, it's further back than my driving position, it's a multitude of room that you have here in the back of the Eletre. But also an interesting feature, you can actually open the window on either side. You've got a switch for the right hand side and a switch for the left hand side on both sides of the car, so that I don't believe has been done on any other car before. But even at the back here, you've got your own touch screen here in terms of your seat adjustment, in terms of the sound, and in terms of your climate control that the passengers here at the back can adjust for themselves here. And all around the car, even though this is a departure from Lotus in terms of what they're known for, their out and out driver's car, this car still retains that Lotus DNA. It might not have an internal combustion engine, but the driving dynamics are still there. It still pays homage to the history of Lotus. The Colin Chapman logo is all around the car. You've got your Lotus since 1948 badges on the B pillars of the car, and all around you still get the idea that yes, it might be an electric car, but it still retains that Lotus DNA. And there you have it, a very brief overview of the all-new, all-electric Lotus Eletre R Hyper SUV that is now available in South Africa. I hope this video gave you a better understanding, a better idea of what the car is all about, the features that it has, what makes it the trendsetter of and the benchmark of what Lotus is going into, their all-electric future. Should you want more information about this car, make sure to contact Lotus Johannesburg or visit us here at Lotus Johannesburg at Daytona in Melrose Arch, or use the contact information in the description below. But until next time, bye bye.